The call came in just after midnight. Structure fire, 200 Grandview Avenue, top floor. Firefighter Ethan Cole threw on his gear and rushed to the truck, adrenaline spiking as the sirens cut through the quiet night. The address was familiar, one of those aging high-rises downtown, long past its prime. As they pulled up to the scene, flames licked hungrily at the upper floors, spilling thick smoke into the sky. Ethan grabbed his gear, ready to charge in, when something made him freeze. Up there, in the top floor window, stood a woman. She was waving frantically, her face a pale mask of terror against the orange glow behind her. "Captain, we've got someone trapped up there," Ethan shouted, pointing. His captain Briggs squinted up at the building and frowned. "Cole, are you sure? Building's supposed to be vacant." "I saw her," Ethan insisted, already moving. "We need to go now." Ethan and his partner Mike pushed through the smoky corridors, climbing the stairs to the top floor. The fire roared around them, but they pressed on, breaking through the door to the apartment where he had seen her. The room was empty. Dust coated the floor in thick layers, untouched by footprints. The furniture sat covered in sheets, like a museum exhibit left frozen in time. "She was right here," Ethan muttered, scanning the dark corners of the room. "Maybe you saw a reflection," Mike suggested, clearly uneasy. Ethan's gut churned. He knew what he saw. Back outside, once the fire was extinguished, a building manager approached them. "No one's lived in that apartment for over a decade," he said, shaking his head. "Not since the last fire." Ethan's skin prickled, but that night, the real horror began. Ethan couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her. In his dreams, the woman was trapped in the burning window, calling for him, reaching out. No matter how fast he ran up the stairs, he never made it in time. The next morning, Sarah, his wife, noticed his pale complexion. "Rough night?" she asked. "Yeah, just weird dreams." But the dreams weren't stopping. Each night they grew worse. The smoke in his dreams crept into his reality. He started smelling it in their bedroom, faint but unmistakable. Then the whispers started, soft at first, just beyond his hearing. But one night, as he lay awake staring at the ceiling, he heard it clearly. "Ethan, help me!" He bolted upright, sweat dripping down his face. Sarah stirred beside him. "What's wrong?" "Nothing," he lied, staring at the darkened window, half expecting to see her face staring back. 2 weeks later, another call came in. Another fire. Another high-rise. Ethan stood frozen as the truck rounded the corner, dread pooling in his gut. Because up in the top floor window, through the billowing smoke, she was there. The same woman, waving. His pulse thundered in his ears as he ran inside, taking the stairs 2 at a time. "She's in the top floor unit," he shouted to the team, his desperation mounting. They burst through the door, empty. The fire danced eerily around the untouched furniture, and Ethan swore he could still hear her voice, pleading in the flickering heat. This time, he checked the hallway security cameras afterward. The footage showed Ethan staring up at the building, pointing at something. But there was nothing there. Ethan couldn't let it go. He dug into the old fire reports, searching for answers. The name popped up over and over again. Clara Reese. The reports were grim. Clara had been trapped in a fire at the first building years ago. She was never found. They assumed she hadn't survived, but no remains were ever recovered. And now, she was appearing at fires across town. Ethan became obsessed, poring over articles and building records late into the night. One night, as he sat in the dim glow of his laptop, Sarah entered the room. "You're not sleeping. You're barely eating," she said, concern etched on her face. "This isn't healthy, Ethan." He rubbed his face, exhaustion weighing on him. "I can't stop thinking about her. What if she's still there somehow? What if she's been trying to reach someone all these years?" Sarah frowned. "Ethan, that's not possible." But he wasn't so sure. Ethan started noticing other things. Scorch marks appeared on their hallway walls, faint outlines of handprints smeared across the mirrors. The house felt wrong, too hot despite the cool autumn air outside. And one night, while checking the baby monitor, his heart nearly stopped. On the screen, in the reflection of the nursery window, Clara was there, her face distorted in the flickering light of phantom flames. He rushed in, but the room was empty. When the next call came, Ethan already knew where they were going, an abandoned factory near the outskirts of town. He didn't tell the others, but he knew she'd be waiting. And there she was. High above, through the thick black smoke, Clara stood in the window, waving silently. This time, Ethan didn't hesitate. He ran into the burning building, determined to end it once and for all. The heat was overwhelming, but he followed the path through the flames, deeper and deeper, until he reached an old storage room. There, hidden beneath the charred debris, he found a body. The skeletal remains were huddled in a corner, long forgotten, and surrounded by melted personal belongings. A sense of finality washed over him. He knew now, Clara had never left, and she had been trying to show him all along. After the remains were identified, Clara was finally given a proper burial. The fires stopped, but Ethan could never truly forget. Late one night, while driving home past another building, something caught his eye. Up on the top floor, in a window shrouded in darkness, stood another figure, staring down at him. Waiting, because some spirits never find peace, and some fires never truly go out.